And one candidate fighting for votes is Newt Gingrich. After being hit with a series of negative ads that effectively derailed him in Iowa, Mr. Gingrich has launched a counteroffensive in South Carolina, as well as here in New Hampshire.
And he joins us now from Concord, New Hampshire. Good morning, Mr. Speaker. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. I want to ask you first about those comments that you made yesterday about food stamps, because a lot of people want to know exactly what you meant. You said the African-American community should demand paychecks and not be satisfied with food stamps. What did you mean by that? 59% of Americans who receive food stamps are white.
Of course, but I was saying that unlike most Republican candidates, I would welcome a request, an opportunity to go speak to the NAACP convention because I thought there ought to be a conversation. 43% black teenage unemployment is totally unacceptable as an American future. Obviously, I'm happy to go and talk to anybody in America. I went on to say I'd be happy to talk to any Latino group or any other group that was interested in talking about having paychecks rather than food stamps. The fact is, President Obama has been the most effective food stamp president in American history. He's put more Americans of all backgrounds.
But, Mr. Speaker, let me just interrupt you for 1 second. I'm sorry. Mr. Speaker, we just spoke to Representative Tim Scott of South Carolina a few moments ago, who knows you well. He said your comments were preposterous. I think what particularly bothered people was when you said that African Americans are satisfied with food stamps. Did you misspeak?
I said they shouldn't be.
Okay.
I didn't say they were satisfied.
But the critique has been that
you just reversed what I said. That would be preposterous. I agree with Tim Scott, but you just reversed what I said.
But the critique has been that you seem to have singled out African Americans. The critique has been that you've seemed to single out African Americans and poor Americans, saying that poor children don't have a work ethic or that they should work as janitors.
Okay.
You've accused President Obama of trying to start a class war. Aren't you doing the same thing?
No. I'm doing this. I'm doing just the opposite. I'm saying we should reach out to every American. I mean, you had to take that and take it totally out of context to distort it this much. I agree with Tim Scott. If you had called me and asked me about the thing you just said, I'd have agreed with you. What I said was every American of every background has been endowed by their Creator with the right to pursue happiness. Every American of every background should have an opportunity to get a job, not be dependent on food stamps. Every American of every background should be able to go to a school that actually works, where they get educated. I'm for actually conservatives going into the poorest neighborhoods of every ethnic group in America and helping every American have a chance to pursue happiness. Now, I think it takes a lot on the part of the elite media to distort that into some kind of an attack. I'm actually saying, shouldn't poor children have a better chance for a better future? Shouldn't every community have a better chance to have jobs? When Reagan was president, we created 1,300,000 jobs in the month of August. I helped do that as a junior member. When I was Speaker, we created 11 million jobs in 4 years. Unemployment came down to 4.2%. Let me finish, Jim. I mean, you guys have distorted what I said, and I want to finish this.
Okay, but I know you want to. I also know you want to talk about the race here in New Hampshire.
But I just want to finish this because it's important for the country. President Obama has left this country in an economic mess. You watch today's job report, compare it with Reagan's 1,300,000 new jobs in August of 1983, and you tell me who's doing a better job creating jobs for all Americans.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because there does seem to be a little bit of a challenge here for you in New Hampshire with moving the needle, still stuck in fourth here. So sketch out for me a credible narrative where fourth in Iowa, fourth in New Hampshire, on to South Carolina. How does Newt Gingrich end up with the nomination at this point?
Well, I think we have to do dramatically better in South Carolina, but we always thought that New Hampshire is one of Romney's 3 best states, along with Utah and Massachusetts. I mean, if he doesn't come in first in New Hampshire, he couldn't stay in the race. So the question is not whether he'll come in first. The question is, how well do each of us do? And the choice that New Hampshire has between a Massachusetts moderate who raised taxes, appointed liberal judges, favored gun control, and a Reagan conservative. And I think that we'll see what happens over the next weekend. This is a state where people take the primary very seriously. The crowds I've been talking to have been very enthusiastic, and I've been encouraged as I go across the state talking to people.
Are you concerned at all with the criticism of Governor Romney as timid, calling Rick Santorum the junior partner? Are you concerned at all that you're going to employ a scorched earth strategy and leave whoever emerges as a badly injured frontrunner?
Well, what I've described Governor Romney as a Massachusetts moderate is because he is. I mean, you think that Barack Obama is going to let him get by with somehow pretending to be something he isn't. And Rick's a good friend of mine. We can have debates about history. All I said was historically, as Speaker of the House, developer of the contract with America, that I played a larger role than a junior senator. That's all I'm saying. That's not in any way denigrating what Rick has done in his career. He's a very smart guy. But I think if you look back historically at the 4 years where I was Speaker, scheduling welfare reform 3 times when Clinton vetoes it twice, getting Clinton to sign welfare reform, getting him to sign the first tax cut in 16 years, getting him to sign 4 straight balanced budgets. I think it's fair to say the Speaker of the House had a fairly significant role in doing that. I'm not trying to attack anybody. I'm trying to talk about what actually happened. But let's look at the choice here. You have a Massachusetts moderate and you have a Reagan conservative. That's a very big choice. And I think as we have this debate over the next few days, we'll see how things evolve, because I think this is the first time Romney's been challenged.
Right. All right, Mr. Speaker, thank you so much for joining us here on the Early Show this morning from Concord. Thank you so much.